What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Bofina1, bringing you guys yet another YouTube video. So recently, protests have been taking place due to the country facing shortages of COVID-19 vaccines and basic needs in Cuba. One protester says, in quotes, "There is no food, no medicine, there is no freedom, they do not let us live." Now, close quotes. Now, you may be wondering, where's all this coming from? And pretty much it's the collapse of the economy, food, medicine shortages, prices hikes, and the government handling of the pandemic. Multiple protesters were arrested by police who ended up using tear gas to break up some demonstrations. A CNN team witnessed demonstrators being forcibly arrested and thrown into the back of vans by police officers. President Diaz-Canel said U.S. trade sanctions had created economic misery on the communist-run island. The thing is, this is not something that just started right away. These people have been feeling this way for quite some time. One resident told CNN that they had been undergoing power outages and was not receiving any type of aid or any type of help. Biden also responded, stating, in quotes, "We stand with the Cuban people and their clarion call for freedom and relief from the tragic grip of the pandemic and from the decades of repression and economic suffering to which they have been subjected by Cuba's authoritarian regime," close quotes. And as you can see, people are just fed up all around, are tired of the abuse or feeling like they are being looked over. That's crazy. It's wild to me that they're having such a hard time with getting vaccines. They're still suffering with getting supplies. Like I remember in the US when we had a shortage of meat and just toilet paper and cleaning supplies, like a lot of stuff, right? And eventually, over time, that people stop hoarding stuff, it did get better. But it is crazy that in Cuba, it's like, they're still going through what we were going through in, like, I would say early 2020, like when the pandemic first started, and people are still going through this issue. They're still facing these problems. And in a lot of other countries that, that are not the US, COVID is actually worse, so it's crazy. It's like, not saying that the US should be getting it first over the other countries or whatever the case is, or they should be getting it first over the US, but it's just crazy when you kind of think about it, like, dang, these other countries are in worse shape than we are, and they're having a shortage of vaccines, they're having a shortage of food, they're having a shortage of all these different things. I mean, the US had a shortage, but I feel like in the US, the shortage was more because people were hoarding. It wasn't really a shortage. It was more of like, okay, you got one person buying all the water or one person buying all the meat. You know what I mean? It was more like that. Like, for example, the whole gas thing that recently that happened like a month or two ago, people were hoarding gas. I feel like that's a lot of the problems in the US, not so much that there's a shortage, but more so because that there is the media creates a scare. Like they get afraid, people get afraid, and then they start hoarding stuff, not because we actually don't have the resources. So I understand in Cuba, like, people are fed up. It's the same thing how we've had a lot of protests here in the United States, injustice, a lot of stuff. So I totally understand that. And what other way can you really, I guess, stick up to the government besides protesting? Because if you create violence, you get arrested, right? So it's just crazy. Like, the world, I feel like, is just in shambles. Like, as a whole, I feel like things are just going downhill. They're not necessarily, I mean, some things are getting better, and then it seems like some things are not getting better. But let me know your guys' thoughts about this down below in the comment section. I'd love to have a discussion. I just think it's just crazy that, we're still talking about people having a hard time getting vaccinated. People are still having a hard time getting food or water, I'm not saying, obviously, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. It's not over, but it's like, dang, that's crazy, and then we wonder why a lot of these other countries, why their COVID rates are so high, or why they're, we wonder that, but it's like, well, this is why. And then you have in the US where it's crazy, because in the US, we have the vaccinations, but people don't want to get it. They don't want to take it. They don't want to be vaccinated. Yes, it's a choice, but I'm just saying, you kind of see the hypocrisy. Like, these people are saying that there's a shortage of vaccinations. They want to get vaccinated and they can't get it. But in the US, we have enough vaccinations. We're out here doing the whole lottery system where you could win so much money if you go get vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, like we're having to bribe people in other countries. These people are desperately in need and want this. It's crazy. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll chat with you later. Peace, Fin Army.